woke up, did some work this morning, did the PowerPoint this morning, and I think I've got something presented that Paul Cartwright will approve of. Okay. So Paul puts together our theme each year for the summer Jabberwackies. All in. Okay, all in is the theme. These my slides? Oh, yes. Okay, all in. And every week we're going to look at a different topic, a different theme going along those terms of all in. So in my 10th grade cabin, camper's cabin, some of you guys were in here. Is Colin not here? Okay. Colin is not here, so we're going to talk about Colin. Okay. I was going to talk about him even if he was here. So Colin made a comment. I don't know if you guys heard it. Mike Montana, one of our other counselors, had an awesome shirt on one day. It was a lot like this one. And with the A&M logo on it, right? And Colin, I don't know a lot of Colin's background. He's probably, deprived child, doesn't have A&M roots. But his comment was, why are you a fan of A&M? Do y'all remember Mike's response? Did y'all hear that conversation? Mike had a great response. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I am not a fan of A&M. I'm an Aggie. And then he went on to, explain to Colin, listen, I went to class. My parents paid for it all. Blood, sweat, and tears. I'm in. I'm not a fan. I am an Aggie. And as we look at our topic tonight, that's a great transition for Christianity. Some people are fans of God. Some people are fans of the idea of Christianity, but they're not all in on Christianity. Some of you might not be fully committed yet to Christianity. You like the idea. I like the concepts. I like being nice to people. I like that my sins can be forgiven. But you're asking a lot of me to say I need to be all in. In tonight's lesson, we're going to look at Matthew chapter 22, verse 37 as our core verse. Jesus said to him, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your mind." That's our text for tonight. First, I need 10 volunteers. Okay, now let me give you a description of what this volunteer entails. You cannot talk, but you're going to stand up here for half my lesson. You're going to be holding a sign. The rest of the group is going to put you in order. Okay, you can't talk. They have to know your name because they got to call you by name. Okay, so it might get loud. We're going to call and get everybody in order. Okay? And we're getting them in order of importance, what we think is the most important thing on their signs they're holding up. Okay, so give me one who's not able to talk. I know none of my 10th grade guys. So, Jacob, you can't do anything without singing or talking. But that's the best way to get Jacob quiet. So, Jacob, come on. God, he can't talk. This one, and now I need some girls. Levi, you can't not talk. Okay, you cannot talk. You're good at that. You're good at that. Okay. Paisley, you're good. Okay. Come on. Carter. How many do we have? I asked y'all to count. I don't know how many we have. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not sure I called on Levi, but okay. 8. Is that 8? Go, Jacob. What are you doing? Putting your hacky sack up? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Come on, Keegan. I know you can. No one in the back. Carter, you're too big. You ready? Okay. How many girls? What do you have? Pretty balanced? Pretty balanced? Who else? 8. Just put y'all's hands down. Okay. Okay, one more here. We're right on the end. You can go. You ready, Grant? Okay. Come on, G-Rant. Is that 10? Jake's hiding. I didn't even see Jake. He's hiding. I offered him a seat on the front row. He said no, so Jake can't help. He didn't want to be in the front. 1. How many is that? That's 10? We're good, Keegan. Gotta count. All right, so here we go. Simple concept. Put them in order. Which one's the most important? Turn your signs around. Pretty simple. Y'all have to call them by name. Tell them who's going first. First being way over here on the end. 10th on this side. Okay. Who's going first? Y'all get them in order. Remember, they can't talk or move. Y'all got to move them. Alexis, go to the end. Oh, they just put the. How many parents do we have here? My kids are all here. So Levi's at the front? Okay. Paisley, what do you have, Paisley? Oh, okay. Call out names. We're moving Lizzie. Whoa, all the way? No, we just switched to get. Man, y'all keep. Seriously. That's number. If you don't know by now, that's why you're all giggling because you're putting parents at the end, Gavin. Are y'all happy with it, Luke? All right, let's come on. We're still moving. Can't argue with the murder thing. That's pretty. We good? Are we happy? Yeah, they did. Kept bumping parents on the Sabbath. Are y'all good? Somebody said no. You don't like. You want to switch those two on the end? Okay. Are we? Are we done? Obviously, what are these? Do we know what these are? 10 Commandments, right? So 10 Commandments. So y'all are going with order. No other gods before me. No idols. Murder. God's name in vain. Adultery. Steal. False witness. Covet. What is next? Honor parents and remember the Sabbath. Okay. Are y'all happy with this order? We good with that? All right, we're going with this. We're committing to this. All right, guys, y'all stay up here. So as we look at our proof text for the night, okay? So what we've got here, let's look at our context and back up a few more verses. But when the Pharisees heard that he had silenced the Sadducees, they gathered together. Then one of them, a lawyer, asked him a question, testing him and saying, "Teacher, which is the greatest commandment in the law?" So let me pause. Jesus at this point has ridden into Jerusalem. This is his final week of his life. Okay. So what's happening here, we've got multiple religious leaders, these groups, testing him, trying to catch him in some blasphemous language, trying to find a reason, trying to right? They're bothered by this guy, Jesus, and everybody's love for him and everything that he's teaching, the miracles that he's doing, right? So they're trying to trap him. They're trying to test him, okay? So that's what's going on here. Verse 37, Jesus said to him, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest command. And the second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets." So what has he just done right here in these two new commandments, right? I mean, are they not really new commandments, but they're asking which one's the greatest. And he does this, right? What he ends up doing, he takes the 10 Commandments and he breaks them down, right? This is what he ends up doing, okay? So, new signs for you. Here. You'll get these in the right order. I don't know if that's the right, but make sure you'll hold your other signs too. I don't know if you're holding the right ones. You got to make sure you're getting the right ones. Is our order still fine? Okay, remember the context, right? The 10 Commandments were who? Were they for the Christians? No, he was speaking to Jews, right? So he was speaking to the Jews. So remember the Sabbath. Was that important at the point in time? Yes, I understand why y'all put it at the end, but where does Paisley need to go? Okay. You need to. We're still wrong? What are we still? Oh, some of the pay. Well, you'll need to fix them. Well, y'all tell them. Call them by name. Who has the wrong one? Levi, you don't have the right sign. No, you're switching papers, not positions. Yeah, there you go. Not you. Talking to Levi. You happy with this? We're moving everything. Nope, we're still not there. Alexis has the wrong sign. But where is it? Who's got it? It's, it's difficult. This is difficult. How do we look now? Love God, love God, love God, love God. All right. Love of Jacob. But whoa, where are you going now? Well, that's not the order of importance. That's just the order they were delivered, right? So, Jacob, y'all move to this side. Let's have two groups now. Yeah, that side. You two over there, come over here. Let's just break it up. There you go. Paisley's the end, right? Okay, so now we're split up, okay, right? That matches what Jesus just said, right? So this is what Jesus did, right? He took the 10 Commandments, right, which was the kind of the cornerstone of the Jewish religion, right? The first commands that were delivered on Mount Sinai to Moses, right? And he came down, and there were a long list of other commandments that they had to follow, but this is the core of what they were studying or what they kept, right? The 10 Commandments. And so Jesus is simple. Guys, in most of Jesus' teaching, he doesn't overcomplicate things. We do. We overcomplicate things. But Jesus took the essence of the entire old law and said, this is what it is. Love God first, okay? And if you can love God first, then what becomes easier? Yeah, this side of it, right? If I can love God first, then it's easy for me to treat others with kindness, with love, with compassion. I'm not going to murder. I'm not going to steal from them. I'm not going to commit adultery. I'm not going to covet what they have. I'm going to honor my parents. The simple things of Jesus' teaching are what we sometimes miss. All right, y'all can sit down. Thank you. Oh, no, you can keep those papers. I don't want them back. What are you doing? No, don't let them fly later. Here's what it's like when Jesus is teaching here. Well, let's see. There we go. Oh, man, my spacing got off. When we see Jesus break down love, right, he gives us three different categories: heart, soul, and mind. If some of you haven't seen a three-legged stool, this is a three-legged stool. What happens if you pull away one leg on a three-legged stool? It's going to tip over. Some of you, stud athletes are like, no, I can balance for a while. And that might be true for a little while, but eventually you're going down, okay? It's not designed to stand on two. It's designed to stand on three. And so when we look at Jesus' explanation on how love is built and what love stands on, there's three different components. And when we look at heart first, I think this is the easiest one for us. I think each one progresses and gets more difficult for us here on this earth. That first one, the heart side, it's more the emotions, right? That's what we think of when we say the word love, right? That I've got these desires, I've got this love, and I think we're all probably good at this side of the love of God. Absolutely, He's in my heart. Absolutely, I want Him to be in my heart. I want to be good, and I want to have this desire to be with God one day. And I like that emotional side. That's the touchy-feely. I get that side of it. So when I said love the Lord your God with all your heart, I think that emotionally side, I think we get that. I think we're better at that than we are the other ones. So then you look at the soul side of it. And the soul, it's a little deeper, right? Because now it's asking us to go beyond just our heart, but instead, it's going into this, where do your loyalties lie? Everyday choices that you make. How do you live your life? This is the soul of who you are, the essence of what's inside of you. Going a little deeper than just the heart and the emotion side on the surface level. Two verses come to mind. Joshua 24:15, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Commitment. And like we just sang a few songs ago, Psalm 42:1, as the deer thirsts for the water, so my soul longs for you, O God. My life and my identity are found in my soul. That's where you see what I believe, what I follow. Love the Lord your God with all your heart and your soul. Again, taking it that second step farther. The essence of what you do. Here's a quote. This is a paraphrase of a quote from a French priest philosopher back in the early 1900s. We're not earthly beings on a spiritual journey. That's what we often think. That I'm a physical person here on this spiritual journey trying to figure out life. No. It's really, we're spiritual beings on an earthly journey. The spiritual, the soul side is what lives on forever. That's the valuable thing we have. This that you see is the temporary. This is the shell that's simply a housing unit for that soul, for that spirit that lives on forever. And I take this and I have it written on one of the first pages and blank pages of my Bible. Or I write good quotes like that to always remember, like, that's my focus. When I say, or when I read and hear, Jesus said, I should love the Lord my God with all my soul, that's what I think of. Okay, I'm on a spiritual journey. That's temporarily here. Not an earthly journey that's got to figure out this spiritual side. And so when Jesus talks about loving the Lord your God with all your soul, it goes beyond this physical thing that I'm doing right here today. Whether I went to work, whether you slept all day and played a little video games, some of you went to work, whatever it is you did. This side of it, to love Him with my soul, encapsulates my commitment in life. What I'm doing here, how I'm acting, how I'm treating other people. And I think this is what God's thinking of when He lists soul in there. The shift of your mindset beyond what I'm seeing and feeling. Now, last one I want to talk about the most. With all your mind. Guys, unfortunately, I think this is the one that we miss the most. Most of you were at Camp Bandina last week, and if you listen to the prayer request that we had with all the campers coming forward, there was one that was listed multiple times. Okay, and it comes up every year, no matter what our topic is. This one comes up every single year, and it's, I want help from God to grow my faith because I have doubt, because I'm not sure about things. We see it every year. We saw it multiple times this year. And it's great for kids to come forward and talk about that doubt they have in their mind. But when we look at this topic and tie it in tonight, the emotional side, I think we want to love. We're good at that side. The soul side, I understand. I want to be committed to Him. This is the one we have a trouble tying in. Do you intellectually love God? In your mind. And so when you think of mind in your brain, that's your thought process, what you know, your knowledge, oftentimes we leave God out of that category. Because what do atheists say when they make fun of us? Oh, y'all are just blind faith, right? Y'all don't have any concrete evidence for what you believe. You're just believing and reading some book that's 2,000 years old, and you think it still applies today. And I think we doubt. And sometimes we say, oh, yeah, that's true. I don't really have any evidence. I don't really have any proof. That's an old book. I don't know that book is right. But if we love the Lord our God with all our mind, we owe it to God to make sure our minds are matching our souls and our heart. Can your heart be joyful and glad about something your mind doesn't believe? That your mind can't comprehend, that your mind struggles with? No. It's the three-legged stool. You pull that mindset of it, you think you're balancing here, and you're not fully all in. You're not fully committed because you haven't proven to yourself through your own study that God is real, that Jesus walked on this earth. And I hope and pray that all of you at some point, whether it's now or in the near future, can go through a whole Christian evidences class. There's a 13-week, 1 quarter, whatever it is, of Christian evidences where you get to, bear with me here, put the Bible away and study about Christianity and God without even looking in the Bible. Because to have a conversation with an atheist and teach them about God, can you pull out the Bible? They don't believe in the Bible. So what we have to get intellectually, you better be convinced that you can prove God exists and that Jesus existed without turning to Scripture. Because you can. And to do a study of dinosaurs, a worldwide flood, a study of the history outside of Scripture, that a man named Jesus lived about 2,000 years ago, and that his followers were called Christians, and that they met together on the first day of the week and that they sang, you can find all of that and prove all of that without opening the Bible. You need to study Christian evidences. You need to be convicted 100% that when I pick up that Bible and I study it and I'm trying to gain more knowledge, I already know it's true. Don't turn to that to prove it's true, because that's a circular reference. Okay? You can't use what you don't fully believe in to build your intellect, to build your knowledge. Study outside of Scripture. There's tons of material out there on apologetics, okay? Apologetics Press, a good website, lots of books they have. There's lots of different sources where you can study and know about God without using the Scriptures. And so oftentimes we forget, the next point, the Christian faith is an intelligent and rational faith. There's a YouTube series from a, let's air quote, Christian preacher called, "I Don't Have Enough Faith to Be an Atheist." I don't have enough faith to be an atheist. Okay, remember, the holes that they try to shoot in Christianity is that we don't have facts, we don't have evidence. They don't either. They don't either. So here's what I'm up here to say. Everything you believe, here we go, you cannot 100% confirm. Maybe that's a little strong. Most things you can't 100% confirm. What I mean by that is, how does oxygen work when you're breathing it? Do you know? I mean, scientists say, right, we breathe it in, but what if we lose oxygen in a room? Can you see it? Do you know? When do you know? After being in there for a while, right? Well, when you first walk in there, you don't know, right? And so we're committed. We think this room looks good, and you walk into a room full of CO2, it's going to be a while before you actually finally figure out. I don't know. I'm just assuming that looks good. When I get on an airplane, do you know how an airplane works? Are you 100%? Is anyone flying this summer on a trip? No one's traveling? Where are you going, Carson? What? Albania. I don't know where that is, but you got to fly a big plane, right? So when you get on that plane, when are you leaving? Of June? Okay, so in a couple weeks, you're leaving. Less than a couple weeks, that's 10 days. To go to Albania. When you put your foot on that plane, are you 100% sure that plane is going to get there? You're not 100% sure? You hope it does, but you're not 100% sure. Why not? Because there have been plane crashes before, right? And you know that actually planes do go down. But statistically speaking, you're confident, right, in what? Pilot, the training he's gone through. What else? The designer, the builder of the plane. What else? The air is going to be there's jet fuel on the plane. The engines are going to work. The air traffic controllers are doing their job. So how much of that is on you? Did you do any of that? Did you confirm all of that? Did you check and make sure that engine was spinning at the right RPM before you took off? No. So you just, without being 100% committed, you said, you're going to say, I'm going to get on this airplane and I'm going to fully believe that I'm going to make it to Albania and then come. Are you coming back? Oh, somebody sighed. So you're going twice on a plane. Guys, we make choices like this in our life every single day. We don't 100% know how things work, yet we 100% commit and trust them. So why do we put that same condition on our belief in God? That if I could just see Him, if I could just touch Him, if I could just, see some miracles done by Jesus, then I would 100% believe. We have more evidence of Christianity, of Christ, of God, of everything that physically is described here in this historical book we call the Bible, that all of that is true, yet we have doubt. Yet we have a weak faith that says, I don't know, because of these outside influences that the world's telling me. I can't get all in on it yet because I hear this stuff about evolution and it sounds good. It sounds factual. I'll admit, we don't have 100% proof in what the scriptures say. But we've got plenty of proof to 100% commit. Because here's what you study if you look at the book of John. The book of John is good about recording people who didn't believe. Over and over and over again, it says they saw the miracles and they didn't believe. Don't think you would be any better than them. That if I was just there and I could just see Jesus and I could just listen to Him and I could just watch Him raise somebody from the dead or heal somebody with leprosy, then I would fully believe. Because they didn't. In fact, I argue all the time that it was harder to believe then, when Jesus was alive, than it is now. We're the ones with the full revelation. We see how the story unfolds. We know what everything was about. We know how he fulfilled all prophecy. They didn't. That was a big transition time. Guys, we have enough evidence to get on the plane. Mr. Martin, can you halfway get on the plane and go to Albania? So you can't okay, I'm pretty much give me 2 legs of the 3-legged stool, and I'll go to Albania like this, right? Just kind of halfway in the plane. When Jesus says, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and all your mind, he wants all of it. Every piece of it. He wants your heart, the emotions. He wants your soul and what you do, what you're convicted of, and he wants your mind too. He wants everything that encapsulates you guys and me. Are you ready and willing to be all in? Are you going to get on that plane fully and be a follower of Jesus and a lover of God? As always, we give an invitation. If you need to get all in and you want prayers to bring you back, you want to get all in and you need to get baptized, come now as we stand and sing. Aid me enough, oh God.